As spring gets into full bloom, the wedding season is beginning to take off. The average cost of a wedding in the U.S. is more than $26,000. More than $1,200 of that is spent on flowers. Meg Oliver shows us a startup company helping people nip rising wedding costs in the bud. Meg, good morning.
Good morning. Most couples set a budget for their wedding, but more than half increase it once they start planning. Flowers can be one of the reasons. But two millennials have found a way to help brides cut that cost.
On a day when a bride needs something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue.
The bride may now kiss the groom.
A new startup is offering all of the above at a discount.
They're beautiful.
Renee McKiernan wasn't planning to have flowers at her wedding.
The cost of weddings is astronomical. The thing with the flowers is they are beautiful. They're one of the biggest expenses of a wedding, and they're so wasteful.
Until she heard about Bloomerent.
They didn't look like they were secondhand flowers.
Bloomerent, an online marketplace, pairs up people willing to share centerpiece arrangements to save a few bucks.
For event B, I'm taking bud vases from event A, about 100, and moving them into larger vases.
The first bride picks out her flowers and gets a 10% discount for sharing them with a second bride. That second bride saves 40 to 60% by using those same flowers a day or two later. In between events, the florist spruces, freshens, and rearranges.
All we're gonna do is zhuzh and rearrange and pick out the bad things.
So McKiernan paid just $850 for the same flowers that cost the first bride $1,700.
Denise, do you still remember your wedding flowers?
Yes.
What were they like?
They were roses, hydrangeas, this beautiful cream white color, and a lot of greenery around it. And they were very expensive.
After seeing those perfectly fresh flowers tossed at the end of her wedding night, Denise Samir came up with the idea for Bloomerent. A mutual friend introduced her to Julia Capolino, who quickly joined the business.
We share our cars, we share our clothing, we even share our beds, Airbnb. So why not your, event flowers, especially when otherwise they're just going to end up in the trash.
I love flowers, so this would be hard for me. But for a lot of millennials, they love the idea of sharing.
Kia Miner is editor-in-chief of Brides Magazine.
When you first heard about this idea, what did you think?
At first, I thought, I don't know if every bride is going to love the idea of sharing flowers, but I quickly realized for some people, it is not one of their biggest priorities. And if they can save money any way possible, because weddings are so expensive, it's worth a shot.
And for those wedding guests hoping to go home with a centerpiece in hand.
I come from a family where they'll leave an hour early to make sure that they leave with the centerpieces.
When I got married, I know my mom was saying, well, Aunt Betty's getting this centerpiece and Aunt Evelyn's getting this one, so.
But if you knew you were going to save $2,000 because the florist was picking up your centerpieces, I think you might have said, Aunt Betty, I'll buy you some roses.
You got to look out for Aunt Betty. You may be wondering how Bloomerent makes money. It earns a fee every time a customer books an event with a Bloomerent florist. They're already in many regions across the country, but Denise, who says she's a second event bride, and Julia, who says she's definitely a first event bride, are looking to expand in the next few months to Chicago, San Francisco, and Miami.
Wow. This was the hardest part of my wedding, saying goodbye to those flowers.
Right.
It's great that they can have another
I love
life.
the title, though.
Bloomerent.
Yeah.
Are you a first event bride?
Yes. What does that mean again? Yeah.
So you get to choose
You get the
your
fresh flowers.
Yes, you get the fresh, yes.
I'll be your second
Yeah, we
event
didn't have
bride.
this technology then, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, maybe the next wedding.
Maybe a baby shower.
I'm not announcing anything. I know you and Gayle are already committed. I don't have a chance. We'll be right back.